Okay, and welcome back. So we're going to do another Dream Team playthrough. It's been a while. The reasons being obviously we've had Christmas, so we're taking a little bit of a break for that. Now, today we are going to play C.G.G.C, which I'm reliably informed by J Kenyon stands for Club Golf Golf Club, which makes sense and kind of sums up, I guess. McTrees does some stuff which is very tongue in cheek. So we're going to have to bear that in mind. Now, he has had a number of courses, so if you're not familiar with his portfolio, it's hard to know where the McTrees begins and the Gerald Epee ends. He's one of the guys behind him. If that's hopefully not kind of giving away too many spoilers. Now he has filled out the form, and we have black tees, medium to height winds, not too particular on wind direction. Fine. I've just put high in default. Well, I've just put default, I think. Course is my take on Mike Strantz goes to Middle America. Blind shots, side hill lies, bad approach drivers. Something about spin rates and things. We will see how that all works. Yeah, interesting. Tobacco Road, Landman, Caprock, Sutton Bay. Okay, so like wild, very very out there sort of design. Okay, so we're going to go straight into this. Now, I did leap into a couple of these courses earlier just for taking screenshots while I had a spare bit of time. So I'm familiar with Tree's courses. He's done Playa Pilar, was in National Treasure, I believe made the first cut there, I think. Revival was his rookie entry a couple of years ago. Want to say just missed out on top 5. There's probably been some others, but I think those are the two that spring to mind. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to leap around and look at the plot a little. So as you can see, very grassy, kind of prairie land look, which makes sense. And we've done some texture splattering, which is the sort of thing that I would guess he's gone to Wingspread Prairie for a little bit of inspiration for this. That's kind of a cool way of doing it. It looks actually really good. I tend not to anti-Yuan. I tend not to enjoy the texture splattering, but I think it works really well with these two textures. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, Maddie. We've got a perimeter tree line, as you might expect. We've got some blue stuff, which is. I thought you was on red. Oh. Yeah. I consider me confused. Silo in the background, like really cool plot. Gotta say, like very hilly and like undulations, and yeah, it seems to take us across quite a bit. I don't know what is going on here with some of the sunken trees and stuff, but yes, that's kind of part and parcel. Okay, this is going to be one of those where there's not too much to see on the flyover, so we're just going to kind of leap in. There's a lot of bunkers up there, and there's various different shapes and sizes of bunkers and things, so that'll be interesting. Okay, so hole 1 we have a blind tee shot with a centerline hazard sort of in, probably not in play. We're probably not carrying it all the way there. Downwind maybe, and if we're not, I mean this bunker I feel has to go. There's just no need for it. Either you end up in it and you get caught downwind, or if it is downwind, you're then trying to hit 3-wood like to this landing area. These bunkers being blind also don't love. I just think if you're going big blind tee shot, that's all that you need. Let's not hide bunkers. I know that it can be done, but because we've got scout cam, we get. Huh. Okay. We're gonna hit our tee shot, and then we're gonna get onto the green, which I think is. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna get to the green in a minute. We have tempo off from playtesting. Whoops. Let's just pretend that we hit a really good drive there. Like I say, like in neutral wind you're not reaching that bunker, but downwind you really are, and that is all sorts of problematic from a conceptual point of view. Difficulty. There we go. That's better. So I don't I think sculpting wise, these two bunkers, we should be able to see them, or there's just no point in having them. I think drop the land before them. I know there's a school of thought that says you can have hidden hazards, and fine, but I don't see what purpose these are serving if they're not being visible, because they're not in. And I also definitely do not get this part of fairway. I don't see anyone laying up to this spot, and why it's, yeah, confused by that. The green is, you have two greens here you haven't chosen between, and that doesn't really work. Either we go with the one that is this side, or we go with the one that is this side. Like it, you can really clearly see that there are two green shapes that you've just joined with a bit in the middle, and it. I know that big greens was part of one of the things you maybe wanted to do, and like yes, it's a kind of Strants thing. You would not see Strants building a green this shape, I wouldn't say. No, this is a mctrees publish. Yeah. Grass planting I like. I think that's come out really nicely and good blend of them. I think the texture spamming has really helped as well. The little bushes you've done, I would have probably varied these rather than just like kind of copy or pasted or rotated, or they just look all a bit identical rather than if you look at how like the better guys would plant it. Sorry, better guys is the wrong term. How the real top planters with the it would be bleeding out from the tree lines and like joining them together a little bit or having the odd one on its own, etc. So this approach, yeah, it's fine. It's a par 5. I don't love it. I don't hate it. I think that red slope is too much, but I think there's far bigger issues with the green generally. And let's go and miss the green altogether. Sculpting is just generally a little bit harsh. I know you said that you didn't do much like land movement. I think even the most minimalist courses will do a ton of land movement. Like the trick is making it look like you haven't, rather than actually doing nothing. Oh, I can imagine. Yeah, 151s. Yeah. Grass looks great here. Just you'd want to layer it so that closer to the tee it's a bit smaller, because some of this stuff is just we're into Quincy grass territory, which we'd probably want to avoid. Okay, so we can't hit driver, which is fine. Again, I don't think you need all of the bunkers, because this part of the fairway is kind of unusable, really, anyway. Yeah. And bunker sculpting on this one is you haven't really made a decision on where's the high side, where's the low side, so it's hidden again. And if that's by design, then it's not a good decision. If it's sculpting, then slightly different. Yes, Matt likes lots of bunkers. We then have the raggedy one at the back, which okay. Green concept of hitting dead at a narrow green that falls away pretty sharply on both sides is all good. If you're gonna do this, doing it to, yeah. To be honest, I think nobody wants to roll off a green into heavy rough here. I think just take this whole green complex, shift it close to the bunkers, and flatten this edge so that it rolls off on the back. If you look at, say, the hole that leaps to mind is Streamsong Black second. But I like the concept of got camber, try and use the camber to roll down to, like, that's an interesting tee shot. I don't think I want a full 3-wood. Definitely didn't want a full 3-wood. So like that's an interesting tee shot. Yeah. The tree line in the back actually has come out really nicely, because I know that was causing you some issues. And then the runoff that you do have isn't really severe enough to take the ball with it, because what you probably want is to have this slope play a little less, raise up this side of the green and really drop hard this side so that it will roll off. Because with a wedge shot, you've got to really make the land do that for you. Oh, 2 pars I'm alright with. Planting's really good. Like, really solid. Okay, this one's messy. Like, we've got a ton of hidden bunkers that... Like, I get that Strantz did some weird stuff, but you wouldn't just bury a minefield and have none of it being visible, really. Even, maybe he did do that stuff. If he did, like, I don't know. This, for me, this isn't pulling it off very... Like, where are we meant to hit to? Because I think what I feel like is missing here is a concept of where the ball lands versus rolls out to. So, okay, we can't land it here. Well, we can land it here, but it's still pretty pinched, and it rolls off on that side, and a little bit on that side, and you leave yourself with this humpback lie to a pitching wedge. So, can we land here? Well, it's just as pinched, so it's probably not much better. Can we land here? No, that's even more pinched. So I think we're just lacking any sort of sensible safe place, so I'm just going to go for it because there just isn't a good play. And yeah, that's a rubbish shot. And yeah, the pin's in a bowl, so like we get some breaks, but I would like to be able to look for a strategic play and find one that... Huh. I did not go. Whee! I will say the last 2 greens have made substantially more sense than the first, which is good. Like, this one's wild and out there, but... And I would definitely be cutting green here. I don't think it needs to go in the... It doesn't need to cut in, and it would allow you to put more pins close to this bunker, which would be a good thing. But... I forgot we're on the slowest greens imaginable. Oops. Thank you very much, Axel Trackland. Really appreciate that. Huh. I mean, subscriptions are awesome. Thank you. I've no... yeah. Okay. We have a really nice green site. You have framed this really well. The tree line is great. The steps up to the next one are great. The runoff on this side is great. The green slopes are stupid. Like, there's just too much of it. And yeah, it's a short hole, but where am I supposed to be leaving this? Let's just try. Because I've got I mean, maybe it plays better than it looks. Fair enough. I still think I do think there's too much red and orange on it, but I'll give you credit. It plays better than it looked. Hmm. Yeah. I think what's also, you've gone really bunker heavy on the first few holes, and then we just got this one kind of plain little pot bunker back there. I don't think the hole's necessarily worse for it, but I think you could have probably gained by putting like a string of bunkers like you did before. I think that would have added visually to what was actually... I think that's the strongest hole so far. I like that we're going more into the trees. That's... where's the hole? Okay. Why would we ever go left? I don't think there's any point of this bit of fairway. I get that you avoid this. That little bunker looks very out of place and lost. I don't... Yeah, this one needed a bit of a rethink. And again, I think you've kind of got two fairways you haven't really chosen between, so you've put a centerline bunker in the middle and gone with both. But with the trees, like, yeah, I just don't like. It's not tight enough to ever make me contemplate hitting down the other side. And I've got an ocean of fairway to hit to from here, which means that this fairway feels superfluous as well. Because once you take off that first option, no one's hitting here. Oh, it's tee boxes. Huh. If so, I probably wouldn't mow fairway. I don't. This. Yeah, this hole is a little bit of a mess. And then we've got the tiny little point of green and giant bunker behind it. I'd be interested to see how this course evolves, but so far it seems to me like you've taken. There was a really good. I listened to a podcast by Gil Hans recently where he was talking about the first couple of courses he designed and how you go into course design having all of these ideas and you try to put them all on every single course. And it feels to me exactly like what you're trying to do here. Like, just go with one simple idea, one common theme, because this one has so many conflicting ideas like that don't work together. So the centerline bunker, the massive wide fairway, the trees, the double fairway here, these bunkers, this bunker, the little pot bunker. There's just so much going on. Um, yeah, I'm fine with the depth of the bunker, to be honest. Like, is it is it the neatest sculpting? No, there's some issues here, and we would be dropping these fingers a bit more as well. I don't massively care for this bunker spine, but I mean, there's been enough weird bunkerness that surfacing here is caused because the bunkers are digging in there, which is why it's not a smooth spline. Yeah, uh, that's the first green aside. That's the first one, and third tee shot, I think. It's just felt, yeah. But this one is more This one now, therefore, feels even like feels out of place because it's the complete opposite of the previous one. And actually, this one's a better designed hole. We've just got a narrows kind of null maiden thing. I think the green is maybe a little bit wild, but I'm okay with. I don't. No, I'm okay with this one. I don't love the tier that is falling off on all sides that this pin sits on. I think I chose pin set 4, and so far it feels like. One sec, let's go back through, because this one is like a bastard of a pin. This one was in a different way. The par 3 was okay. This one was in a bowl, so that was okay. This one was a bit of a bastard, but I suspect they all are on that green. And this one was as well. Okay, we're going to keep clocking that because I feel like we've got a consistent theme that, like. Yeah, so this one I like because, in terms of concept, I think the sculpting could be neater. And yeah, if we're trying to let the land be, you still have to flatten it a bit. I don't know. I don't know about that. But I think there's an element of like, we know pin 4 can tend to be seen as like, oh, it's the difficult pin set because for some reason in C.G.C. 2 or 1 that mindset prevailed that you wanted everyone to earn their score on a Sunday, which is just nonsense. I like the approach. I like the uphill nature of it. I think we could do a bit better of framing this. Like this whole what it does feel to me like is again we've got the conflicting ideas because you've got so many bunkers on these two holes, and then this par 3 and this hole have just the one, and they feel so empty as a result because there's not even grass around it. I think that's what's bothering me about this one is there's just nothing here. Like put your grasses in here would look way better. I do like the green complex. Apart from the severity of that tier, I think is a little bit heavy, but it's a wedge shot even if you lay back with a 3-wood. So conceptually, I'd say this is the strongest hole yet. Like, although I did like 2 as a concept. I like that we're playing back up into the trees. That's good. Yeah, we got some bunker sculpting issues there, and there was one in this one as well. And bunker sculpting is a consistent theme. Like that would be the high side here, so we'd bump that up and drop this bit down. Probably raise. I'd raise it a touch so that you can get to see the fairway over the planting just a little more in the bunker, because you want to see that there's fairway in front of the bunker, which we can't really see here. But this one, I can like this centerline bunker much better. The width much better. The green's awesome. Like this one balances right. Like, and genuinely making me think a little bit, which is cool. Oh, I knew I'd hit slow. Yeah, bunker sculpting. I think it's just a work in progress, isn't it? These bunkers kind of feel a bit divorced from the playing area. I think okay. I think let's just say bunkering is a common theme. Otherwise, I'm just going to pick on all of them, which I'd rather not do. Huh. Bunkers are not dark magic. Bunkers are easy. Just they get difficult when you try and do when the shapes are too intricate and too small a space, or you try and overwork the land a little bit. This is a fun little bit. And like I can see why that one would be difficult to get at with a 3-wood, but with a wedge it was fine. Which is interesting. Yeah, I don't. Knowing your course cue, I don't blame you. Oh, that's a dreadful part. Bunkers are easy. You need a bit of practice, but they are easy. Like if you try and do complicated bunkers, you can make things very complicated. Okay, this fairway is giant and really unnecessary. Why are we? I don't get why we're starting a fairway at 160 yards on a. Like no one needs this bit of fairway. It's also massively wide. Uh, okay. So we've now done. This is basically the second green again, which is fine because I guess we're asking for a slightly different play. Because this one you're asking us to drive here, but again it's like 3-wood to set up an angle to a. Yeah, this view isn't. Sculpting for this view is not great. Pitching wedge flop? I don't recall playing one of them in a while. Yeah, there should be soon, Panda. Yeah, it's very raised, like, but then that is in fairness, playing devil's advocate, that is Strants. Okay, we now got two side on greens in a row, and it's done the same thing, and this one's just all crowned. It's not so much runoff as I do not like this green because thank goodness if we would be having a rant if I had the pin up here. Like again, I get the concept. We've got narrow green, 2 bunkers short, and the bunker long. It's it just needs toning back. Like a lot of these ideas. Is it the same one? It feels like it. Oof. Yeah, we've played the same basic green shape and slopes off on each side 3 times on the front 9, which, again, width-wise, this is better. Yeah. Like, I get what we're doing with the option play. I think we can integrate that better. Kind of narrow green falling off on both sides, so I mean, basically the same concept. Admittedly done with a front tier and a back tier. No, it's all falling back downhill. Huh. I don't feel like this should be a front to back green, but eh, okay. Fairway sizes and um, on this hole are much, much better, and it definitely helps when you have the trees in play just to frame it a bit more visually. It just a little. Can't say I'm a massive fan of that green being this hard front to back. I didn't hit a great shot, but I don't think I hit that bad of a shot. And we're up 4 feet from here to the pin. 148. Okay, and the max we can go is 151. Yeah. I think that green needed toning down. I don't really see the need for a front to back green there. Front to back green on a downhill hole makes sense. On an uphill hole, less so. Yeah, and to you. And to all of you, in fact. This green gonna sound weird. This green now feels really benign and like there's not enough slope on it. Like I think you're finding it's that happy balance is just not really there. I think it's like based on what was it? True Blue, Caledonia, Tobacco Road, those sorts of things. Can't say I'm feeling other than the like weird green shapes. I'm not feeling a ton of Tobacco Road. I'm really liking the planting. Have to say. Ah, the rubbish part. Yes, yes, I am. 300 doesn't feel too bad, but oh, I like the way this one sits. But then the fairway's really pinched, and this one feels like it could have used more width. Air Pac-Man. Again, I really like the concept of this hole. The variety of bunker styles, shapes, fairway widths, green slopes, shapes, etc. I think and that's the key. The key thing for me is there's just too much going on, and like it needed a more concerted decision. And I know the comment in response will be that Mike Strantz did some crazy things. He did, but there was always like a consistency about them. I don't really feel there is so much here. Why can I not find the club I want? I didn't want that. I do like the back to front green. Hard back to front green is good on this one, particularly given that you've just done a front to back green. Works well. Just for variety. This one's cool because you're integrating the planting so much more on these holes. And this is what a few of them, like, I want to say 7 needed. Like, this view's great. I mean, we've got some mammoth grass here that I'd have lost. Like, that sticks out. But everything else, we can see loads. We can see the planting from in the distance. We can see all the surfaces and things. that's what this course needs a bit more of. I don't love the tee. Well, I don't like the tee shot. We're into wind and we can't carry close to the corner, so we're forced to hitting to narrow bit of fairway, or there's no. I don't understand really why the fairway isn't wider out here to allow you. Like, this feels way too penal. Of just, if you can't carry that corner, you, yeah. A bit more fairway over here would have helped, especially as you've got massive fairway everywhere else. I mean, I don't love the blindness, but yeah. I think concept of the pin, fine, needs more space to breathe. Like, way more space. Like, if this slope here finishes here, and this one, so you've got to have like 3 grid squares or so around it. Does make for fun, like, it'll make for a fun little chip, but this, yeah. Touch video gamey, which, fair enough, but we aim for like realistic. Okay. Ooh, all sorts of pars coming down the finish. 5, 3, 4. This is a guy called mctrees, so it should be in the title. Ugh. Um. Yeah, we're way too artificially pinched here, and like, I'm fine with having a narrows, but again, you've done such super width. Like, why are we doing this? And if we're going to do that, let's offer like more fairway down here, or just that tee shot gives me no fun whatsoever, I'm afraid. Um, and yeah, I get it's a short par 5, and we could probably get there by laying up, but it doesn't. Yeah. And this slope at the back needs some serious softening. I just think everything is a bit too big, and yeah. And I get we're trying to do runoff into fairway bunker. That's tricky. Thanks, Matt. I can't say I was really following that much. Go, 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 go. Yeah, not a good putt. Yeah, fairway greens running off into fairway bunkers is really tricky. I think the question with that is fairway to heavy rough to light rough. Not sure. Shouldn't be. I had one more thought on this one. Like, in in real life, if you putted off that green into the bottom of that bunker, how pissed off would you be if you'd rolled just past? Or if you hit the 5 wood or 3 wood and hit the back of the green, and because the slope is so severe, rolled off into the bottom, it just wouldn't like. And I know there is an interesting concept, but that would feel to me really harsh. Wish you'd have dropped this hill just a little because I've got the giant bit of grass in front of the pin. But best green site by a mile that we've had. Best bunkering around the green by a mile that we've had. Close to the best green complex we've had. Bottle this one. This one's really good. That's not a good swing, but might get lucky. Or we might just roll forever. Yeah, don't. It wasn't a good shot, but I don't love rolling off into heavy rough. But it wasn't a good shot. Shame. I like that one. A little bit of grass going into the bunker, but I guess I think that's a miss rather than a you intended that. Alrighty, 16. Really really like the concept, but we're playing with a lot of camber or a fairway that is not very wide. I feel like we could have used this width, like that's on a hole that is going. What are we looking at? 24 to 33. Like 9 feet is huge in terms of fairway camber. Like that's enough for a 60, like 50, 60-yard wide fairway. Doing it on 30 on a interesting. So we've got a massive side slope that frankly feels a bit uncontrollable to a green that's falling away from it. Like, just think with this hole, where's the good leave? Like, there's no flat part of the fairway. Even if you hang on the inside, no chance. And even if you do hang on the inside, you've still got a rubbish angle to a pin, which has a tiny bit of a bowl, but everything else is falling away. Like, I think the concept is good with this one. It just needs dialing back a bit. That said, that is about as good as I can do. Probably too long. Yeah, that's alright. Yeah, I don't think I'm doing much better than that. Turn in? Yeah, I'd have taken a par on that one. I really like the concept for that one, which is why, like, just wish a few tweaks and it's a really good hole. Okay, this hole I knew was coming. Yeah, hate it. Just this this needed burning. Like we have pin presumably 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like if ever there were a definition of there's too much going on this green, this would be the one. I'm gonna deliberately hit a little too left. This would be a Biarritz. So you can do it. Like, okay, I'm intrigued. Let's say we didn't make this. Where do we end up and what part are we looking at? Like, we're not getting we're not getting close to getting back up, right? And I know we're over 100 foot, but surely like 9 feet up should, yeah. Anyway, so like it's doable, but it requires the perfect shot, and there's penal golf where you miss a shot and you are punished, and then there's that where you miss a shot and you've got no way back. Uh, okay, and we have these big bunkers. Again, really don't care for like the little appendages of like I don't get why this bit is here. I can understand this bit. Why is this bit here? The little appendage of fairway makes not much sense. I get that you can probably drive it there downwind, but that feels like a kind of it's gimmicky would be the word. Like we're better than having little secret fairways and things that are only there if you know they're there, and you can hit a tiny little shortcut and like that's like yeah. Okay, and then this is kind of road hole boomerangy-ish, I think. I guess possibly works if we took that shortcut thing, but and we're blind, which I'm okay with, but Yeah, the original Biarritz is like just a single one of those swales. Well, we made it back to -3. Roller coaster is the correct answer. All right, there's some stuff on that one. So I think we got two things going on. One, and I believe I said the same stuff on your rookie course way back when. There's too many ideas going on. Try and dial them back and have like one consistent vision for the course, like bunkering or surface width or what have you. Positives, I think planting looked really good. I think the whole concepts in spots are really good. So I really like the second as a whole concept. You did repeat the narrow green idea a bit too much, but I thought that worked well. Like short par 3 ninth, like I like the idea, just the execution slightly off. I think just tone stuff down like by about 50% probably. It really does, Q. There's so much good on it, and then either the greens are too OTT or like look at the par 5 fifth, for example. There's just like way too much going on. It just needs dialing down and just going, what's my one key concept for this hole? How does it work? What am I focusing on? And we go with that. Um, like I say, I hope these are always meant to be useful. Hopefully, it's done gold and black, so we've got T manipulation, which is another like cool thing because you can see that we've got this par 5 plays shorter on this one than this one. And like variety of holes, and like you're obviously not struggling for ideas. It's just let's crystallize them and make sure that they all fit together. All right, I'm going to pop off for a second. We're going to hop right back on. We're going for Wes's course, which is Hill Country Clay, I think. So we'll be right back in just one sec.